I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, we're on firmware 28.07 on the AXFX3, and I want to take a look at one of my favorite amps in here, the Class A 30-watt Brilliant based on a Vox AC30. Now, these amps are renowned as very versatile amps that can do anything from sparkling cleans through to pushed rock tones. I want to start off showing you how I approach dialing in this particular amp model for chimey and edge of breakup tones through to push rock tones, but then I'm going to grab a guitar with humbuckers and show you that this is an amazing rock and hard rock amp as well. So I've got the amp at the stock settings on here. You've got gain, bass, treble, and high cut. The way I like to dial this in is to crank the high cut all the way up. I'll play a few chords on here and basically bring that high cut control down till I just hear the amp open up and I've got enough brightness in there. So this is going to depend, of course, on the guitar that you're using and the type of cab IR. I've got a pair of matching Dynacabs in here, the Class A 30-watt Dynacabs. I've got the Dynamic 2 and ribbon mics, and then just a touch of the large room reverb on here. So with the high cut all the way up, we're first just going to dial in how bright we want this amp to sound. So somewhere around 7 or 8 on there, I find I've really got to crank that up. But if I think of it the other way around, where having the high cut all the way up is the darkest possible point, I find that just makes dialing in this particular amp model and any of the other Class A amp models and their related types a whole lot easier. Now, if we want a cleaner sound on there, obviously we can take the gain down on there, but the bass and treble controls on here are really interesting. My rule of thumb here is that if I turn the bass down, I want to turn the treble down as well. And if I turn the bass up, I want to turn the treble up as well. And I think of it as a very broad style mid control. With the bass and treble low, I'm going to have more of a mid forward tone. And with both of them cranked up, I'm going to have more of an aggressive scoop sound. And we will revisit that scoop style sound with some humbuckers in just a little bit. But what I'll do is I'll turn the gain down just a little bit on here. Let's start with the bass and the treble quite low. And I really like this on, say, a middle single coil and a tapped bridge humbucker on here. So basically, is it position 2, position 4 on a Strat, whatever position you want to call it on there. This works really nicely for some chime. These are actually my go-to settings on here. Everything at 7 on the Class A 30-watt Brilliant. Let's hear it with a Les Paul on the bridge humbucker now. This is a great rock sound. you can hear the low end is a little bit thuddy on there. A classic trick that you can do to boost this, and in doing so kind of take out that low end hump on there, is to use a treble booster in here. So let's add a drive on here. I've got the treble boost with the drive and level cranked up on here. I can even play on drop D with this and really get some mean and nasty tones. That's great for doom tones, grunge tones, or dirty rock and roll sounds on there. It's such a classic combination, but a variation on it would be this. Let's change the cab over to my free cab IR. This is based on a Marshall 4x12 with greenback, so that immediately pushes it more into that rock and hard rock territory. And then for something, I guess, in a similar vein to what the treble booster is doing, but in a very different way, is the TC integrated preamp model, the Integral Pre. I'm going to cut a whole lot of bass and boost the treble on there, big level boost on there. The integrated preamp, of course, is what the Fortin Grind, one of the more popular high gain amp boosts, is based on. So let's just hear this over here, where I'm going to use those same everything at 7 settings, my cab IR. I'm going to go over to the speaker tab and change this speaker impedance curve to the Loadbox UK curve on here, just to give it a bit of extra thump in the low end. We'll hear it unboosted and then boosted. This is an awesome hard rock tone on here, and this is the sort of thing that I would use in the studio when I'm layering it with other high gain amps. Like say if I had a 5150 or a rectifier, a modern high gain tone on there, and you wanted to add some real scuzz and character to it, you could layer it with this boosted AC30. Let's check it out. That is a very unforgiving combination to play through, but adding some delay on there definitely helps. You can hear how much cut and presence that tone has on there, and there's an awesome clarity on there where you've still got loads of saturation and sustain happening, but you can hear the detail in all the notes on there. So if you're somebody who likes doing a bunch of hard rock guitar solos with alternate picking on there, you could hear the way the picking came through on that. It's very percussive, but also very saturated. It's such a unique sound, and I think it's a very overlooked combination on there. You know, as rock and hard rock players, we always focus on, I guess, amps that are derived from Marshalls, whether it's boosted 800s or you've got your Soldanos and 5150s and things like that. It is very easy to forget that the humble AC30 has been on so many classic rock recordings and still continues to be used to this day. So you could start with those settings on there, try everything at 7 on the Class A 30-watt Brilliant, add a boost, add some of your favorite time-based effects and other source on there, and you can have a great time. I'll play you all out with these settings on here. If you've got any other questions, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you on the next one.